starting with 10th standard syllabus, and I'm going to start with chapter number 1 of science, that is chemical reactions and equations. So before starting chemical reactions and equations, I would like to tell you that you have to first refer standard 9 chapter number 3 and 4. Unless and until you revise what is atom, what is molecule, what are the compound, mixture, everything, you cannot go in detail with this chapter. So before watching this video, just go through your previous chapter number, grade 9, chapter number 3 and 4. So now starting with this chapter, first what is chemical reaction? It is a process in which new substance is formed. Examples, when you combine anything, suppose you are taking magnesium and when you are burning it in presence of oxygen, you will get magnesium oxide. I have also written it in a symbolic form. Magnesium symbol is Mg, air, that is oxygen, O2. When you combine this two, you will get MgO. This is the product. This portion is the reactant, and whatever you are getting, the result you are getting, that is the product. Now, in this case, what you are generally doing, this is an activity that is given in your textbook. When you are taking this magnesium, you have to take a magnesium ribbon and you have to burn it in presence of oxygen. So you will get magnesium oxide. How do you detect that it is magnesium oxide? It will burn with a white flame. Now before burning magnesium ribbon, you have to rub it with sandpaper, because magnesium, when it is kept in like that form only, it will form a layer of magnesium carbonate or magnesium hydroxide. This is magnesium carbonate or magnesium hydroxide. So magnesium is highly reactive with carbonate and OH. So before rubbing magnesium ribbon, before burning magnesium ribbon, you have to rub it with sandpaper. Next example of chemical equation is Zn. Zn is zinc plus HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. When you combine this two, you will get zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. Now this is the reactant and this is your product. Now again, next example is rusting of iron. Rusting of iron is also a chemical reaction. It also occurs because of some kind of chemical reactions. Next is characteristics of chemical reaction. Now what are the basic characteristics of chemical reaction? There are basically 5 characteristics of chemical reaction. The first characteristic is evolution of gas. Means whenever you are combining any two substances, the product that you will get, it will be in the form of evolution of a gas. It can be hydrogen gas, it can be oxygen gas, it can be CO2 gas. Next is formation of precipitate. Now what is precipitate? Precipitate is formed when a substance is dissolved in a liquid. It forms insoluble substances, and that insoluble substances will settle down at the bottom. That is known as a precipitate. Next is change in color. Suppose you are taking a copper sulfate solution and you will put iron nail inside it. So already this experiment you have done. So when you are putting iron nail inside the solution of copper sulfate, after the reaction you will see that the blue color of copper sulfate is changed into light greenish color. So that is change in color. Next is change in temperature. Now change in temperature is occurred due to absorption or release of heat. I think we have already discussed about exothermic and endothermic reactions. In this, we will learn in detail about change in temperature further. Next is change in state. Change in state means, suppose you are taking solid and liquid, it will be converted into gaseous form. Suppose you are taking liquid or any of the other states of matter, the reactant will be something else. That is change in state. Now next is chemical equation. What is a chemical equation? This all is an equation. Zn, HCl, you will get ZnCl2 plus H2. This is an equation. So equation is representation of a chemical reaction in terms of reactant and product symbolically. As I told you, this is the reactant and this is your product. Whatever you are combining, that is the reactant, and whatever you are getting, the result you are getting, that will be your product. This arrow symbolizes this is the after reaction, whatever happens, it is symbolized by this arrow. So now we will go in detail with all the characteristics of the chemical equations. So first characteristics, as I told you, is evolution of gas. Now for example, Zn, that is zinc plus H2SO4. What is H2SO4? Sulfuric acid. When you combine Zn and H2SO4, you will get ZnSO4 plus hydrogen. You can see this arrow. This arrow means the hydrogen gas is evolved. Next is how to detect, how can we check that hydrogen gas is evolved or not? So you can check this evolution of hydrogen gas by taking an outlet pipe. Suppose you are doing this experiment, you are combining the substance inside a test tube, and the top of the test tube, take a tube and insert it inside a tub that is filled with soap water. You can see bubbles inside it. That is because of the production of hydrogen gas. And with that bubbles, you can even hear a popping sound. Next is example 2, Na2CO3, that is sodium carbonate plus CH3COOH, acetic acid. When you combine sodium carbonate and acetic acid, you will get CH3COONA, that is sodium acetate plus CO2 gas. Here also you can see the arrow. This means CO2 gas is evolved, and this is the one of the product you will get in this is H2O. Now when CO2 gas, now how can we detect that it is a CO2 gas is produced or not? We cannot determine if it is hydrogen gas or CO2 gas. So for hydrogen gas, as I told you, you can do the experiment with the soap water, and for CO2 gas you can pass it with the lime, so it will turn into milky. Next characteristics is formation of precipitate. Ki, potassium iodide, when combines with lead nitrate, PbNO3 twice, lead nitrate, you will get KNO3, potassium nitrate plus PbI, lead iodide. That is a yellow precipitate. This PbI will be settled at the bottom and it will form a yellowish layer. That is precipitate of PbI. Now here I have shown a downward arrow. Now this downward arrow doesn't mean that heat is released inside the substance or anything. This downward arrow means it is in the precipitate form. Upward arrow means the gas is evolved, and the downward arrow means it is a precipitate. Next example is BaCl2, barium chloride plus H2SO4, sulfuric acid. When you combine barium chloride and sulfuric acid, you will get barium sulfate plus HCl. In barium sulfate also I have taken an arrow, and this arrow is a white precipitate. That means it is in the precipitate form. So whenever in any of the equations you see an upward arrow, that means the gas is evolved, and if you see a downward arrow, that means it is in the precipitate form. Next is change in color. KMNO4. KMNO4 is potassium permanganate. It is when it is dissolved in water, it will convert into a pink colored solution, pink or violet colored solution. And when you add citric acid, now from where can you get a citric acid? Citric acid is present in lime juice, lemon juice. It is also present in oranges. So when you combine potassium permanganate with citric acid, the color of the liquid will change. That means the pink color, the violet color of potassium permanganate will be changed into colorless. Next is change in temperature. Now you would have seen that when at the time of whitewashing means जब घर में चूना लगाते हैं, the white colored substance, so that is used for whitewashing. That is, what is that? That is calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is lime. Calcium oxide, when combines with water, in the calcium oxide powder, when you are pouring H2O, you would see that bubbles come out, and even the outside the tub, it will be very hot. Why it is hot? Because it forms CaOH twice, that is calcium hydroxide, and some amount of energy is released during this reaction. That's why you can see that when you touch it, you will feel it is very hot. Now, as here energy is evolved, it is exothermic reaction. In case of exothermic reaction, you can feel that the substance is very hot. Next is barium oxide, that is BaOH twice, when combines with NH4Cl, ammonium chloride, it will form BaCl2 plus NH3 plus H2O. Now here this is an endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction means in which heat is absorbed. Heat will be inside the solution only. That means endothermic reaction. And exo means the heat is released or it is evolved. When the heat is released or evolved, it is exothermic, and when the heat is inside the substance, that is when the heat is absorbed, it is known as endothermic reaction. Next is what can be predicted by looking at the chemical equation. Now you would have been given a chemical equation. Now how can you, what things you have to detect from that chemical equation? First is you will know the symbols. Zn zinc, Zn hydrochloric acid, HCl, sulfuric acid, H2SO4. You can get the symbol of all the elements. You can know the physical state. Physical state means whether it is solid, whether it is liquid, whether it is in gaseous form, whether it is in aqueous form. Aqueous is a new word to you. I will explain it further. Now gas, as from the previous all the characteristics we have seen that when gas is involved, it will be from in the upward arrow, and when it is shown in the downward arrow, it is the precipitate. Next, Zn, that is zinc plus HCl gives ZnCl2 plus H2. Now you would be surprised to see that here I have written Zn, here I have written 2HCl, then you are getting ZnCl2, then you are getting H2. So how to learn these equations? At least you have to first, you should know that zinc is represented by Zn, hydrochloric acid is represented by HCl, and why this 2 is written here? This 2 is written here to balance the equation that we will see in the next video, that how we can balance the chemical equations. Now this I have written Zn is zinc, 2HCl that is hydrochloric acid, and ZnCl2 zinc chloride, H2 that is hydrogen gas. Again this upward arrow shows that the hydrogen gas is released. Now zinc, as you all know, it is a metal, it will be in the solid form. Hydrochloric acid, it is in the aqueous form. Zinc chloride, again it is in the aqueous form, and hydrogen gas, it is in the gaseous form. So that's why I have put the G. Now next, what is this aqueous? You would have heard about solid, liquid, gaseous. Now what is aqueous? Whenever you will dissolve a substance, any of the substance, and when the solvent is water, in that substance the solvent is water, then it will be known as an aqueous solution. Suppose in HCl you have dissolved it in water, some amount of water is also containing in that. So that's why it is known as an aqueous solution. Next example is CaO. Now this, as I have the mention here, zinc plus hydrochloric acid plus zinc chloride hydrogen gas, means when you are combining zinc metal with hydrochloric acid, you will get zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. This is the word representation of an equation, and this is the skeptical representation of any of the equation. Now next skeptical representation is CaO, calcium oxide plus H2O, water, gives CaOH twice, that is calcium hydroxide plus heat. Again this arrow means the heat is evolved, that means it is an exothermic reaction. Now next, solid, calcium oxide is in solid form, H2O is in liquid form, CaOH twice, that is in the aqueous form, and heat is evolved out. Next example is BaCl2, barium chloride, combines with H2SO4. What is H2SO4? Sulfuric acid. Again it is in the aqueous form, gives barium sulfate, BaSO4. Downward arrow means it is in the precipitate form, and 2HCl, again it is in the aqueous form. Now in any of the chemical equation, your chemical equations will be marked as incorrect if you are not writing the physical state and if you are not balancing the equation. Every time whenever you are writing a chemical equation, it should be balanced and the state of matter should also be written in that chemical equation. Next is CH4 plus O2. What is CH4? CH4 is methane. Methane plus O2. CH4 again is in gaseous form, methane is in gaseous form, oxygen is again in gaseous form. When you combine methane plus oxygen, you will get CO2, that is in the gaseous form, and again H2O, it will be in the vapor form. That's why it is written here gaseous form. So this is the combustion reactions. We will learn in types of combustion. What is a combustion reaction? What is a displacement reaction? So here when methane combines with oxygen, this reaction is known as a combustion reaction. It evolves large amount of heat, so it is a exothermic reaction. So again these two are, this one calcium oxide one, that is a lime water, at the time of whitewashing. This kind of reaction takes place at the time of whitewash. So this reaction and this reaction both are exothermic reactions. Next is glucose, C6H12O6. What is glucose? We intake glucose. In our body, the digestion of glucose takes place at the time of cellular respiration. So at the time of cellular respiration, this glucose, when combines with oxygen, it will convert it into CO2, H2O, and heat is again released. This is a process of respiration. So you can even say that respiration is also a exothermic reaction. Nitrogen plus oxygen combines and forms 2NO, that is nitrous oxide, and heat is absorbed. So now next is limitations of chemical reaction. We have already learned that these are all the chemical reactions. For chemical reactions to be complete, it should be balanced, the state of matter should be written, the reactant should be in one side, the product should be in the another side, between the reactant and the product we will get, instead of we will get, as we used to write in is equal to. When you are representing any of the word equations into a symbolic form, you are putting the equal to sign. So instead of equal to, we have to put this arrow. Next, limitations of chemical reactions. So what are the limitations of chemical reactions? The limitations of chemical reactions are that we cannot determine the rate of reaction. We cannot say that it will be completed within 1 minute, within 2 minutes, or within seconds. Within a fraction of seconds it can be completed. So we cannot determine the time of any of the reactions. That is, time of completion of the reaction is not determined in a chemical reaction. Next is catalyst. What is a catalyst? Catalyst is a substance which will enhance the rate of reaction. We have learned in 9th standard also many of the catalysts. Now next is limitations of chemical reaction. What are the limitations of chemical reactions? We have already learned that how can we write a chemical reaction, but before writing chemical reaction we should know what is atom, molecule and everything. So just coming to limitations of chemical reaction, the first limitation of chemical reaction is that we cannot determine the time of completion of the reaction. That means if I am combining combining nitrogen with oxygen, I cannot say that it will be completed, the reaction will be completed in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, or it will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes or anything. So the time of completion of the reaction is not determined, that is the rate of reaction. The time of rate of reaction we cannot determine by this chemical reaction. Now next is catalyst. What is a catalyst? Catalyst is a substance which enhances the rate of reaction. Enhances means, suppose I am combining nitrogen and oxygen. In here also, in case of nitrogen and oxygen, one kind of catalyst, that is V2O5, vanadium pentoxide is used. This vanadium pentoxide is a catalyst which enhances the rate of reaction. Means it will speed up the rate of reaction. So you cannot say in term, when you are using a catalyst, you cannot say that the catalyst is positive or it is, what is its nature? Positive catalyst means it will enhance the rate of reaction, and a negative catalyst means it will reduce the rate of reaction. Means the time of, the speed of reaction will be reduced in case of a negative catalyst. Now SO2 plus O2, as I told you that vanadium pentaoxide is a catalyst, so I have used, so in this reaction this catalyst is used V2O5. Sulfur dioxide, it is in the gaseous form. Oxygen, gaseous form. It reacts in the presence of vanadium pentaoxide, it is SO3. That is also, it is also in a gaseous form. Now whenever you are writing a catalyst, it should be always above this arrow, and whenever you are writing the temperature, that is it is being heated up at 273 degrees Celsius or anything, whatever temperature you are writing, that also should be in above or below this arrow. And whenever you are heating it, suppose you are heating any two substances and it is to be heated, so heating you have to write at the top of this arrow only, and instead of heating you can also put the sign of a triangle, that means it is delta. The sign of delta also means it is heated up. Next, as I already told you, what is an aqueous solution? So it is a solution in which a solvent is the water. This is an aqueous solution. So here we are completing the basic introduction of chemical reactions and equations. So as I already told you, you will get in just before watching the video, first learn chapter number 3. What is atom? You have to learn all the symbols. What is the formula of calcium, how calcium is represented, how cobalt is represented, the basic things like hydrogen, chlorine and everything.